Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and welcome if you're new. So we're going to be going over a top 5 fastest killing SMGs, and this is purely based on statistics, time to kill. We're going to go over a time to kill graph to compare all the SMGs in the game and then break down for you what are the top 5 fastest killing SMGs. Don't be mistaken. Don't be saying, Turbo, literally last Saturday you posted a top 5 video and you included this and that. Well, that video was exclusively for the top 5 guns that I personally like to play with just for fun. Now this time around, this is more for like the stat nerds, you know what I'm saying? I'm a stat nerd myself as well. If you guys want me to continue to do these, you know, special top 5 class setup videos, regardless of what the theme is centered around every single Saturday, let me know down below in the comments. Leave a like as well, show the support, and I hope you guys are having a great day. But let's just get into the video. There are some real obvious winners here when you're going against TTK. So the fastest one obviously is going to be the KSP-45. Now the KSP-45 is not the most easiest weapon to use for a lot of people, mainly because you got to be super accurate with your shots. It's very unforgiving if you miss your shots, so that's something you have to keep in mind. But if you do hit your shots, you are rewarded very well. As you can see here, you got a 220 millisecond time to kill, which is literally on an island of its own. And if you learn how to use the KSP, you are pretty much going to be unstoppable. It's actually quite unfair. Now moving on to the second fastest killing SMG, we got the AK-74U. No surprise there. It's always been the fan favorite, definitely a favorite and choice for the pros as well. AK-74U has a 258 millisecond time to kill, up to this 10-meter range. I would say that's the only weakness that the AK-74U has, is that its range isn't really that impressive. So once you start to go out to longer ranges, you know, this TTK definitely does tend to fall back a little bit more as we progress. But, you know, it's an SMG. You shouldn't really be using SMGs at long ranges anyway. You know, you got to use these weapons up close and personal. That is what they're built for. So you got to just adapt. So next up, we have the PPSH-41. I know it is very surprising, but with the recent update, I wouldn't say recent, but the most recent update that they did update this PPSH, it was the task force barrel. That's why there's a TF there. You need the task force barrel to take advantage of this TTK, and that's going to be at 264 milliseconds. Now, as you can see here, it is a very competitive. You can't really go wrong with any of these SMGs at the end of the day, because their TTKs are fairly similar. You know, 264 versus the Tech-9 at 266. You really can't tell the difference between these two, but since this is a video based purely on stats and what we're seeing here on paper, PPSH is definitely number 3. And also, you cannot ignore this range, the 23-meter range with the task force barrel, and also the class setups that I'm about to show you. You absolutely need it to see the stats reflected here on this sheet. PPSH is also another SMG that I do recommend you guys to use. It's very fun to use. It comes with very large magazine. I forget the exact number. I think it's like 70 rounds or something like that. So you don't really have to worry too much about being too accurate with it, because it gives you a second chance essentially, because if you miss your shots, you do have a lot of ammo to go around, and that's what makes using the PPSH fun. Not really sure why it's not a popular weapon. I mean, dude, look at this TTK. It's amazing. You're seriously missing out on the PPSH. If you got a chance to use it on a very small map, go for it. You are not going to regret it. You're going to have lots of fun. Oh, one thing that I do want to point out with the AK-74U that I missed, that I forgot to mention, is that the AK-74U is well known for its mobility and just pretty much finessing your opponents in close quarter combat situation, which is why pros are very well versed at using this weapon. All right, so these next two here to complete this list, they are going to come in fairly competitively. We got the MAC-10 at 270, and then we have the Tech-9 at 276. So like I was saying, it's very competitive with these weapons, so can't go wrong with any of these 5. And also, as a bonus, we have the OTS-9, which I've recently done a video on. You guys make sure to check that out on my channel. 280 milliseconds. So you tell me, 280 milliseconds versus 276. Are you really going to notice the difference? Probably not. It all is going to come down to the class setup itself, the mobility, the ease of use, the recoil control. But like I said, this video is purely all about stats. So we got the KSP-45, AK-74U, the PPSH, the Tech-9, and the MAC-10. that is your top 5 SMGs. Hopefully this visual helped put some perspective of why I am choosing these weapons. And yeah, I mean, like, look at the rest of the weapons here. They definitely do not compete as much as these top 5 do, because, you know, the farther you go out in ranges, the farther the TTK gets for some of these. Like the MP5, for example, up to the 17-meter range is 350 milliseconds. Now, if you use something like the 𝗧𝗘𝗢𝗎𝗔𝗠 at 220 millisecond time to kill, you're still going to outgun the MP5. Same thing applies to the Tech-9 and the PPSH. Now, the only time that the MP5 would be fairly competitive would be up to this 11-meter range, I would say. So you could make a case that the MP5 also is included as one of the fast-killing SMGs, as long as you keep that distance very short. But if we're gonna move out to mid-range here, which is probably the most I would move out some SMGs, then MP5 cannot be put in that category. However, it is still a very fun gun to use, do not get me wrong. So anyways, let's go ahead and talk about these class setups. Welcome back to the Gunsmith. Hopefully the stat talk didn't bore you guys, but anyways, let's just get into the top 5 fastest killing SMGs with a little bonus class setup for you guys. So we're starting off with the KSP here, just as I showed you in the TTK chart. KSP-45 has the fastest TTK. We already know that, and here's the class setup. So for the KSP-45, we're using the agency suppressor. For the barrel, we're using the task force barrel. This is going to give it the fastest hit detection possible. And moving on to the underbarrel, we're using the patrol grip. All right, now for the handle, we're going to be using the serpent wrap to have faster aim down sight time while minimizing our sprint to fire time. Like I was saying, this is a close quarter combat type of weapon, and minimizing your cons to your sprint to fire time is going to be the most important thing. And stock is going to be the no stock, so we can further help out with our sprint to fire time while minimizing the con of our hip fire accuracy should we need to do that. Now, if you guys did notice, we're not using a magazine attachment, and this is mainly because it's a burst fire weapon. You know, you're going to be shooting 3 shots at a time. You don't really need an extended magazine on this unless you're really like one of those players who are going to spam people at longer ranges. You shouldn't be doing that. You might as well put the extra attachment towards something that is going to help optimize the performance of this weapon and the way it should be used. All right, so moving on with the rest of this class setup, and this is going to go for the rest of my SMG class setup, so I'm not going to go over it again, so pay attention. So for the secondary, this is pretty much optional. You can use whatever you want. So use a machete, use a shotgun. If you want to know what I'm using for my street sweeper, I'm using the duckbill choke. I got the reinforced heavy, and I also have the 5mm laser, static 18-round drum, as well as the wider stock. And here's my tactical. I use the stim shot, C4, and jammer. And for the perks, this is pretty much my main staple core perk combo. I got the flak jacket, tactical mask, tracker, scavenger, spycraft, and ghost. Now, oftentimes I will switch out spycraft for ninja, so it really just depends how I feel that day. But for the main part, I am using ghost pretty much all the time because I like to flank around, stick to the outskirts, etc, etc. All right, next up we have the AK-47, the second fastest killing SMG. We've got the GRU suppressor on here. Barrel is going to be the task force barrel, and underbarrel is going to be the foregrip. I really like this attachment, and I feel like it's a very underrated attachment on the AK-74U. Most people, including myself, we typically like to use the 𝗧𝗨𝗥𝗕𝗢𝗠 grip or the 𝗧𝗨𝗥𝗕𝗢𝗠 speed grip. But if you really pay attention closely to the pros and the cons of the 𝗧𝗨𝗥𝗕𝗢𝗠 grip, yes, we get a massive boost in horizontal recoil control and as well as vertical recoil control. However, the cons are pretty significant, and this gun is meant for really aggressive playstyle, close quarter, up in your face type of stuff. So I would much rather use the foregrip because it has no cons to your speed whatsoever. So we get to keep that mobility and keep that quickness while having literally the same amount of horizontal recoil control as the 𝗧𝗨𝗥𝗕𝗢𝗠 speed grip and the 𝗧𝗨𝗥𝗡𝗏𝗏 grip. But this is obviously personal preference. So if you want to go ahead and use the 𝗧𝗨𝗥𝗡𝗏𝗏 grip, be my guest. If you want to use the 𝗧𝗨𝗥𝗡𝗏𝗏 speed grip, be my guest. But me personally, I think if you want to truly optimize the performance of this gun, go with the foregrip. Magazine, we're using the 50 round drum. Main reason being is because it gives us the most amount of ammo as well as the least amount of cons to our aim down sight time. Speaking of ADS speed, we are using the serpent wrap here. 25% aim down sight time, and the only reason why we're using this one is to really minimize our con to the sprint to fire time. And remember, this is a close quarter combat aggressive type of weapon, and you guys saw the range at where it performs the best, up to that 10-meter-ish range. So that's why keeping the sprint to fire time as optimal as possible is going to be very important. So for the third fastest killing SMG in the game, we have the PPSH. Like I was saying, I feel like this is such an underrated weapon. You really have to have the best attachments possible to really take advantage of that TTK. So for muzzle, we're using the 𝗧𝗘 suppressor. We get a 2-for-1 as well. We get to control the recoil as well as stay stealthy. Nothing wrong with that. Everybody loves it. Barrel is going to be the task force barrel. This was the biggest one. Look at that bullet velocity boost as well as that effective damage range boost. And the damage at 7% is actually going to help out with our TTK. That is something that was buffed, I guess, back in Season 6 or something like that. And that's what really changed the game for the PPSH. Now for the underbarrel, we're using the 𝗧𝗏𝗏 grip to further help control that recoil. Magazine is going to be the 71 round drum. Handle is going to be the 𝗧𝗘𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏. Next up, we have the infamous Tech-9. So muzzle, we got the full auto repeater. Barrel is going to be the task force barrel. Underbarrel is going to be the field agent grip. Magazine is the salvo 33 round fast mag, but you know, you can really use whatever you want to here. Handle is going to be the airborne elastic wrap. Next up, we've got the MAC-10. Everybody loves the MAC-10. Return of the Mac, ladies and gentlemen. We got the SOCOM Eliminator here. One thing I do want to point out about the SOCOM Eliminator on the MAC-10 is that insanely high percentage of vertical recoil control. That's what's really nice there. Barrel is the reinforced heavy. Underbarrel is the foregrip. So you have a couple options here. You could use the foregrip if you don't want any cons at all. And this is pretty unique to the MAC-10. You get the 4% in vertical recoil control as well as 12% horizontal recoil control. Also, the SFOD speed grip does offer some vertical and horizontal recoil control as well, plus a little bit of your sprinting move speed. So, you know, if this is more of your style, then by all means go for it. But if you want the most optimal setup, then just go with the foregrip. You know, you have no cons at all, which is absolutely amazing. Whereas this one, you have a little bit of a cons, but it's not as noticeable. You could always go with this route, or if you want to go this route as well, but you're going to experience a little bit slower shooting move speed, then go with the field agent grip. So you definitely do have some options here: foregrip, field agent grip, SFOD speed grip. But if I were to break it down to the top two, I'd go with foregrip, or we go with the SFOD speed grip. Magazine, we're gonna be going with the 50 round drum. I mean, I cannot stress this enough. It's a MAC-10. It's got a very fast fire rate. You're probably gonna run out of ammo before you even know it. So putting this on is gonna be beneficial. Also, it's gonna reduce the penalty to your aim down sight time. Handle is going to be the airborne elastic wrap as well, just to give us the absolute fastest aim down sight time. On the MAC-10, it's incredibly important to be able to have the best mobility possible. All right, and here is a bonus class setup. This is the OTS-9. Very underrated SMG in my opinion. If you think otherwise, let me know down below in the comments. Muzzle is going to be the 𝗧𝗘 suppressor. Barrel is going to be the task force barrel. Underbarrel is going to be the 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗧 grip. Magazine will be the 32 round fast mag, or you can go with the 40 round if you want. Handle is going to be the 𝗧𝗘𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏. Comment down below your favorite ice cream. It is summertime. It has been extremely hot lately. Comment down below your favorite flavored ice cream. Curious to know. Maybe we got the same taste. And yeah, thanks for all the support, guys. Thank you for watching all the way through, and I'll see you guys in the next video. I just want to give a big thank you to our members for supporting Turbo Nation and this channel. This channel is driven by the support of you guys, and I really appreciate it. And if you would like to join the channel as a member, go ahead to my homepage or check the link in the description and click that join button to enjoy these loyalty badges as well as these emojis that you can put in the comments and show your allegiance to the Turbo Nation. But anyways, guys, I appreciate all the support, and I'll see you guys in the next one.